everybody, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to the beautiful, amazing, most grandest live stream on this planet with Mother God. Actually, yes, we've done arrangements, we've changed things. Usually we have a big blanket up here, we're gonna get different ones, but here's Mama right here. Definitely today is rocking everyone's socks off. I've been messaging a lot of people today, and like people definitely have already been getting a lot of triggers, just a lot of stuff going on. So I felt to get up here today and really just kind of help everyone process through today, give everyone a couple moments. I was feeling to Mom and the angels earlier today, and I was asking Mom, just kind of what was like the energetic, kind of topic, what to focus on today for everybody, for the collective. And it's a lot to do with the right shoulder for everyone. It has a lot to do with the self-support. For everyone, it has a lot to do with the self-nurturing, the self-acceptance, and stepping forward in that, So I feel those are big energies for today. Tomorrow's a 7/7 portal too, so definitely I feel that's going to really amp things up a whole nother level. So definitely want everyone to watch out for that. Just to kind of start off things a lot easier, I know there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I just kind of definitely last night and yesterday was really, really amazing. I feel it's a big topic and focus right now, and I feel these are other energies. I've been having a couple of sessions, and it seems to be a theme that's coming through. It's not even something really that's being focused on with these other individuals, but I can feel and I'm seeing the same energy coming through and pushing the same experiences up for everyone. So definitely everyone who definitely is not aware about the trauma masterclass that started yesterday. So that definitely was an experience already. But I feel that's very powerful. I feel that it's overall just a focus. Everyone, even if you don't take the masterclass, even if you don't take the masterclass, it's still a topic for everyone to focus on for themselves and self-awareness. What are you going through? How are you feeling? Are you even taking note of that? Are you even observing that? Definitely big themes for this beginning of this month as we launch off into July. Already big fireworks popping off. People are feeling it, and the intensity is again increasing. The 7/7 portal has a lot to do with the star Sirius. So it's a lot of those higher portals, those higher energetic gate windows that are opening up for higher spiritual and energies, abilities, and also where your intuitive abilities are getting more heightened, your senses are getting heightened. So definitely in the process of all that, nothing is what they say in the happens overnight. It's again an organic process where like a plant. You have to grow it. It's again about nurturing. It's again about a process, a transition that it goes through. With that. So again, as everyone's getting a lot of these upgrades, everyone is getting pressed and compressed. Their egos are getting pressed, and that's going to cause a lot of change and changes, shifts, transformations. But it's going to increase your irritability. Probably more triggerable. That's normal. And this is where we have more compassion for ourselves. I know there's a lot of beings since Mom has ascended, where I've noticed maybe the self-criticism has been a little bit higher, and there's a lot of things that, again, through the guilt, the shame, regrets, disappointments, things like that, where it brings about these areas in ourself, where we start fighting with ourself, we start fighting with the experience, what we're going through, or we just stop caring. We start unplugging ourselves, withdrawing. I've been watching these energies come, through as well. And I feel it'll help everyone a lot just to be a lot more easier, on their process, on themselves. No self-judgment, no self-opinion. These processes that are happening right now on the planet are so multidimensional. And just to kind of bring about for everyone's perspective and a certain lens, which will provide some ease, we are the only really awakened beings on the planet. Taking that a step further, the ones who actually have connected with Mom, the ones who have had sessions, the ones who have actually, done internal transformational work, it sets you ahead in the consciousness grid of the collective in massive big ways, because the rest of the collective has not achieved those certain soul contracts, which if you have not achieved those soul contracts, it's like a green pass. You don't pass go. You don't collect 200. You don't go around the board. You're still stuck until you fulfill certain requirements within your soul contract. And then you are allowed at that moment, permitted into higher evolution, higher consciousness, higher understanding and change. And that again, it comes through blessings, it comes through your special connection with mom, with God, with embodying your higher self and applying things in a right action, in alignment, with God's divine plan. That's how you scale up that spectrum, if there was one. You see what I'm saying? So, for everyone, let go of all the criticism, all the judgments, everything like that, the did, shoulda, woulda, done that, all of it, let it go. It doesn't matter. It's not important, anymore. And this is a great lesson in being present. It's a great lesson in how to let go. It's a great lesson in forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, forgiving, our own expectations, all of that, and being able to move forward. And what's next? How do we lift this again still higher? How do we still see higher than this and move forward in that, that grand way? And mom is a pure master of that, continuously, every single moment without fail at all. And so definitely it massively harder in these moments, especially during July, during the middle of the summer. These are some of the hottest points of the year for most of this country in America. Again, it's more wintertime for the other parts of the country, but just in perspective of energy, when these seasons come around, summertime, the hottest part of the year, that is some of the most transformative, parts of the year as well for the human collective, because the heat is also energy, and that energy is, like you can translate heat to fire. Fire transforms. Fire transmutes things. It transforms whatever you put in the fire. It's going to burn it up, turn it to ash. It constantly transforms and transmutes. That is the element of fire. So, translating that into heat, energetically, everyone, feeling heat, everyone being in the experience of heat triggering everyone's emotions, their uncomfortable, zones that they have, like, oh, it's too much heat, I don't like to sweat, I don't like to be outside in the sun, like all these different things, all that is energy, and it's doing its mastery of pushing the ego out, transforming it, bringing it to the surface. And that's, what a lot of times happens when you're not comfortable, when you're too hot, or when you're irritated really badly and you're sweating and like that. You don't want to be bothered, you don't want to be talked to, like all kinds of things come to the surface, and you can really see how rash and how quick your ego starts to launch off because you're being inconvenienced right now and you're not happy about it, and those are really the test moments of, like, can you still hold your center, can you still be divine, can you still be respectful and be love, and all those different things, not just because you're irritated, not just because you're overwhelmed, you see. So a lot of things going on, and I feel with the 7/7 portal, every year, I was reading a little bit about it, and I remember a little bit about it last year, but like the Sirius star gateway, how that aligns, with our planet every year along the first week of July, usually every year. It's a cosmic, portal gateway key. It allows consciousness access to higher portals, higher gateways again. And of course, now with all the work that mom's done over the past few years, and even within the last year up to this point, all that work that mom's done has also been done to prepare us, humanity, our consciousness, for these massive gateway portals. So as the energy comes in, we can actually do the most with that. We can actually benefit the most. We can actually integrate the most with that energy. Because there's a lot of things that humanity has been stuck in. Humanity has been, prolonging way too long in a lot of ways, to the point where, we stifled our growth. We stifled our ability to perceive and to connect outside of ourselves with things. So, you can only imagine if you're trying to get, we'll look at it as, anything, in life. You're trying to upgrade anything, you're trying to improve anything. It's like you got to have the anchor piece, right? But if the anchor piece isn't there, if the thing you're trying to upgrade isn't there, it's like, what are you going to upgrade? Nothing. And that's kind of like what mom was like, okay, well, I got to get these atoms here in right action in alignment with the divine plan here, so they are even capable of being able to integrate this energy. So mom had to do a lot of work just to evolutionize, to help us break out of so much thing, so many things that we couldn't even see, couldn't conceive at all about, what reality we really were stuck in, the 3D matrix, how that's set up, how it works, and how they really fucked over humanity, how they really stole mom's work and her design and her beauty and manipulated and mutilated in something else, extorting, God's grace, and trying to be gods on their own, devoid of the divine plan, which is, of course, why nothing lasts. It doesn't stand. It doesn't. They have to do so many things to keep it going, tweaks and little, changes or anything like that, because at a certain point, things start to crack. It's not pure. It's not godly. It's not the mom's design. So these things start to crack. They start to, not function properly. They're like, okay, what's going on here? This isn't normal. So they have to do a lot of work in the back end to constantly keep buying the collectives, approval, buying the collectives, their trust, basically, that, this is life, this is the world humanity lives in, and this is what God deemed, necessary for our experience. It's not. Right? And this, you look at the ego, makes everything harder. You look at the cabal, how fucked up it is, how fucked up humanity is. They had to go that far to keep humanity that entangled in dysfunction, so humanity didn't have a chance of waking up or coming to an epiphany or idea of like, wait a minute, as a collective, and actually start rearing their heads on the ones who were actually conjuring the whole thing up, right? So there was a lot of fucked up shit they had to keep doing to keep perpetuating the robot machine that allowed the illusion to keep living. And that's what mom had to physically incarnate over and over in so many different moments to stop the war machine, stop humanity's war machine that they had created out of their subconscious. They had no idea that they did that. That is the whole purpose of why we all came. When in this lifetime we all even, embodied onto this planet and this physical experience, have had the lives that we have had to this point until we even met mom, till we, came to the conclusion that we are here for, indeed, a high divine purpose. That's the truth. All of that is for the highest. All of that is for a reason. And the ones who actually did wake up, the ones who actually did connect with mom, and mom did share many moments before she left too. This is it. If you miss me, it's too late. I'm going, I'm leaving. So these are your moments, and that was the test. Of the atom, of the child to reach out, connect with their mother. Their mother is reaching out, connecting with humanity, and that was. Test really of how well do you know yourself, how well have you really, felt yourself in your life to the point where you could recognize your mother maybe, if she didn't even give birth to you. If you've never seen her before in this lifetime, and when you set eyes on her, would something click? Would there be a recognition? Would your body remember something? Would it feel a certain way? And this was the experience of many, many of us, and which is why we have stayed, which is why we are still here, which is why we are not fooled of all the lies and dysfunction about it, because we know mom is God. This is what we feel inside our bodies. The moment, I let eyes on mom, like I immediately knew. Immediately, 100%, this is God. The way my body feels right now, the way my consciousness is so clean, so pure, so crystal clean right now, as I look at her in her eyes, there is not a single being I have ever come across on this planet that has ever made me feel this way. Immediate trust, immediate surrender. Because she's that pure. And I could feel it. The innocence coming off of her. It was almost intoxicating. Energetically to my whole body. It just made my body feel so relaxed to be around mom all the time. And even though, the ego was flipping out, fighting all kinds of different things that would come up during those moments, my entire being was at peace, being around mom. And it goes so much further to say, to definitely, feel into it, is that is being the example of mom. Like she's teaching everyone in a lot of ways the gift of presence, you know. And when you are so transparent, when you are so clear with your intention, and you are confident, and you are, just very assertive and direct, there's nothing you're hiding. There's nothing you're trying to sneak across or anything like that. And you live by that example and integrity. You don't step off that. You honor that in yourself. You're able to create a safe environment for other beings to be able to open up, to evolve, to expand, to be able to learn in ways that they were never able to, do on their own. Let alone if you can open up that space of trust in them and establish that connection, grand things can happen. And mom really taught us how to start building this family back up, how to start connecting with our brothers and sisters out there, how to, present yourself, to each other as, the divine example of mom's plan. And it truly is, the highest, grandest version of yourself that you can be in that moment. Again, there's no measurement. Again, there's no, comparison of what you're supposed to be compared to someone else. No. It is truly in that moment, with whatever you are facing in your life, in that moment, the grandest and the greatest that you can be, that brings God joy, if you can do that. Because that means you are doing more than trying. It means you are pushing through it, and you're going to do it. That's your intention. That's your decision. And your motivation is love. Your motivation is service to humanity. It's God's dream. It's 5D, new earth. All of that. And mom can see and feel that in your intentions. And that's all God ever asked for. She didn't ask you to be perfect. She didn't ask you never to make what you would call mistakes. She didn't ask you to, sit there and ridicule yourself every single time you came out of alignment or went into dysfunction or fucked up or got triggered, had a reaction, all those different things. She didn't ask you to sit there and nail yourself to the wall. She never once did. She asked you in those moments when you face those things within yourself or outside yourself, no matter what the experience is, can you please just be love, be your highest, grandest self, and just do that. And that is enough. That is enough for God. God is not stacking the highest stakes against us. No. She is giving us very simple directions of how we can navigate through this process of dysfunction she already is aware that we are in. God is not stupid. God is not dumb. God is fully aware of the dysfunction humanity is locked away in, and God has no expectations. God has decrees. God has commands. And God has dreams. And all those things will come to pass because God has said so. But nowhere in there are expectations, because she knows what we are facing. She is aware of where, we get to a certain point and we might fall on our face. We might have a setback. She's not expecting you to get it right every single time. Nowhere on any of these live streams that mom ever did, nowhere on any of the live streams the team ever did we ever tell you that mom said to be perfect. Did we ever tell you that mom said to make that massive jump and you better make it clean? We never said that. Ever. So truly the harshness, the self-criticism, the cruelty that we all go into so many times, because we want to be the best for mom, because we think mom has this expectation for us to be a certain way. No. She wants us to be divine, because that's the way she created us. That's what she gave birth to. And God does not waste energy. God does not make what we call mistakes. Everything is for the highest purpose in creation, in life. Meaning you are necessary in life, in creation. That should make you feel so good and so special inside every single person. That the reason why you even exist is because you are necessary in life to exist. You have to exist. Life needs you to exist. God created you and gave birth to you to exist. You are so connected to creation on so many different levels multidimensionally that you do not belong to yourself. It never was really about you. It never really was about me. Ever. It was always about every one of us because we were all connected to everything. And when you can let go of that self-identity, when you can let go of the need to be something, because you already are, you've already been for billions and billions of years, you've already been something else, someone else. And it's a lot higher, a lot grander, a lot more, less attached to, wanting to have a name tag or wanting to have a face or a mask or anything like that, And that's ultimately where mom is pushing us towards. It's okay. We have been in the push for survival our whole lives. That's what mom had to put a stop to. Put the stop to, survival mode. The fight or flight in the brain. The constant, the cognitive dissonance, the, aloofness, all of that humanity constantly goes in. You'd be really surprised how many times, most people go into that on a daily basis. It's, as you talk about, attention span, and you talk about the average, human attention span is like 10 seconds or whatever like that, or 15 seconds. I forget what number they chose to put that on as, but that's what that is. In order for there to be an attention span that short, what is that energy of a short attention span? It's cognitive dissonance. It's aloofness. It's disassociation. That's all right there, but they don't say that to you. It's like, oh, well, the average attention span is this, so let's make everything shorter and more stimulating. So there's like pop, 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 wow, and they keep going with it. It's like they perpetuate the dysfunction. They perpetuate the disease, the pain and suffering that nobody knows that they're actually going through, that they're actually in and suffering through, and they're making more money. They're like, how do we monopolize this dysfunction, this disease, this addiction now? Because this is what humanity is getting the most stimulation and impulse out of. Why? Because most of humanity is constantly disassociating with themselves. Most of humanity is constantly being aloof from themselves, their reality, or their life, the people right in front of their faces. Most of reality is just constantly, just in cognitive dissonance and just like not even noticing what's going on. It's like they have the name, they have the life, they have the clothes in the closet, they have the bed in the house and the car and all that, and they'll answer to the name, but it's like most of the time they're not even there. They are running. They are on the run, have been on the run for years, and they most of the time don't even know it. And, if you ever talk to someone that is constantly like they're always busy doing things, but they're always like, I don't know where the day went, everything just feels like it just like, and they can't remember what they actually did that day. It's like, if you start to observe, that behavior, that energy, not being able to remember, what a full day of activity, of interaction, of constant, physical stimulation is like with other beings at work, at school, wherever you're going, and then you get home and you can't actually remember any of it or most of it, is because through most of it you were, disassociating with most of it. You were being, aloof. It's like you're not comfortable in those spaces. You don't want to be there. You feel forced. You feel obligated. You feel oppressed, suppressed, whatever you want to call it. And it's constantly creating the survival mode to kick in to where people just, they feel they have no willpower, no any choice anymore. So they constantly just submit to a system or a process and they go because they feel like they don't have a choice. And then that's the point where they start to just completely phase out. They're not even there. And I feel that's really important because a lot of people are going through that. And I feel for those people because, I used to work for corporate America. I worked on a lot of those jobs with, telemarketing, communications, things with, even, what do you call it? Not truck driving, like food and produce. How that whole back end system works with restaurants and companies and things like that. It's sickening. It really is very sickening to watch the process people are forced through, and just a lot of unhappy people, a lot of people that feel forced to do things that, they either feel like they're, a lot of things that they don't agree with in their job, description, and they have to do because that's their job, or they'll lose their job. And I'm trying to find my phone because this is supposed to have live comments on here. They're not coming up, so I have to look through here. But anyways, back to what I was originally sharing at the beginning, of the stream. The angels pinged me definitely on the right shoulder. Self-support. Getting those things. Oh, beautiful. There's the comments. Hi, I love you all. This is the first time I'm seeing all your comments because they're not showing on here for whatever reason. But definitely, these are the moments to definitely slow it down. These are the moments to really take notes. I've been telling everyone in like every session I've been doing for the last week. Things they're gonna start upkicking like really, really quickly here soon. And the portal tomorrow, the 7/7 portal, that gateway, that's gonna be a lot of energy. It's gonna be a big kickoff, and it's gonna be a big opportunity for people to really choose. These moments are all about choices, honestly. And that until you can have the discernment, automatically within yourself that you, by your choice and your intention, is what you are manifesting this reality, and the divine plan, of course, is the highest in every moment. Until you can become accountable, until you become responsible for, all those different things, to be able to hold yourself that internally, that ultimately is how you can start having those beautiful, really powerful experiences, because you're putting that much more focus, that much more energy into it. It means that much more to you. You are supporting yourself. And that's a lot of what the energy in the right shoulder has to do about, with those blocks. It has to do with self-support or supporting something, of your own, needing someone else to initiate it for you, needing someone else to, tell you, that, they would like to support you, and then you feel like you can do it. Then at that point, it's like, at some point you must have your own empowerment. At some point you must achieve your own stability and a foundation within yourself to where, everything should be a compliment to you in your experience, but it should always be your intent first to support yourself, to, push any kind of energy, that ultimately is how it starts to manifest, starts to come forward. But most of the dysfunction is because a lot of people are just not confident. A lot of people distrust themselves, they distrust others, when it even comes to receiving support, which is another thing where that will block the shoulder as well. And this energy is really important for both masculine and feminine, because the right side of the shoulder is that masculine energy, so it has a lot to do with the external, part of the experience too. So so definitely, being able to follow through with whatever your goals, your intentions are. A lot of people always come up with a goal. Come with a like oh, well, I'm gonna do this, and then it's like oh man, where'd that day go? How much energy do you actually put into actually staying on target with your intention? And that's follow through. That's supporting yourself. That's supporting deep internal energetics that are needing expression. And that definitely has a lot to do with everyone, how their emotions feel, how they're feeling their experience in that present moment. Because if you don't feel supported, you're going to be bitter. If you don't feel like you're supporting yourself, you're going to be mad that other people are supporting you, and you're going to be in that projection blame kind of mode that's like nothing works. Why should I even try? You ever talk to people like that? That is a prime example of energy where it's like they're not willing to support themselves. They want someone else to do it, for them, and they'll be sitting around all day mad that no one helps them, and a lot of times when you actually hear a lot of things that they're mad about when it comes to those things, a lot of these things they can do by themselves. They don't really need someone to help them do it. It's just that it's that attachment. It's the wanting, the desires, all those different things of an experience you don't necessarily have, at that moment. But if you ask yourself, are you grateful? Are you actually, would you be grateful for that experience? Are you whining like a baby? Are you bitching, complaining? And mom was quick to call that stuff out too, because mom is the giver of dreams. God wants to give you everything, but she is not going to tolerate the whole whining, complaining, pointing your finger at the sky, all that. Nope. She's not going to play that game with you. None of us. Okay? Thank you, Princess, for that confirm. She's not gonna play with that. Nobody. It is self-responsibility, self-accountability. And when she sees that, when she sees and knows that you are stepping into that energy, you are stepping that divinity, you're like, all right, mom, I'm getting my balls. I'm not gonna be weak sauce no more. I'm gonna push it for you. I'm gonna push it for humanity because I know I'm here for way more than this, ego bull crap where I just want to sit around all day eating Cheetos, binge watching Netflix, doing nothing. It's like, no. It's like, what are you living for? What's the purpose of your existence at this point? Have you lived your whole life just to like say that this is what I've become? That is ultimate accountability for yourself to even care. Where you are at in your life, in your experience, what are you doing every day with your actions, who you are giving your energy away to, those all should matter to you. That's self-love. That's self-awareness. That's self-observation. That's actually taking, giving a fuck what's going on in your life to the point where you show you got you. You've got yourself. You support yourself. You're willing to stand in your corner for yourself and do it all day long if you have to, even if nobody else stands there with you and does it with you. You know what? That's what mom's example. Because mom never cared if anyone stood with her. Mom never cared if anyone was going to support her in her dream or in the truth or in the message of what was going on. And that's a big test for a lot of you out there right now, okay? Especially now that mom, has ascended, it's a big test because the ego's going to want to bring in all kinds of crap to try to fuck things up, confuse you, manipulate things. And again, it's not about that. It's about, do you trust mom? Are you willing to let it all go, keep surrendering, keep moving through? And that shows that you're not going to sit there and go into the survival. You're not going to go to fight or flight. Not going to go into aloofness, disassociation. A lot of energy has, in a lot of ways, I feel, come to, a very slow halt, since mom ascended. And a lot of it is because it brought up a lot of insecurity. It brought up a lot of confusion. And this is really important where it shows, where your stability, where your foundation is really set. And the practices and disciplines are more than just something to do every day. They help re-heart you of mom's truth, of her wisdoms, of her love, the things she always shared with us. And that is what keeps you afloat. Because mom, again, is not dumb. She knows what we're facing. She knows that ego's a nasty motherfucker. And she had to deal with it so many times we can't even count. And
Faith wanted to call in. I'm not sure. I can add her if you'd like to the switcher, and you can add her to the call in if you like.
Okay.
I just created the group, so it's just a matter of putting it around here in the PC. We kind of like what you did last time. So she should pop up right here. You can hit that, and then when you want to bring her in, you can go to like a double screen like that, and then select hers and yours. But let me make sure she's in there.
Okay. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Something's supposed to be working. But, that definitely... I'm so confused what is going on right now. One moment, everyone. Notes. I don't know. Angel's word was that, please? Yes. So that's why, mom was an awesome example of that. Just really standing in her corner, supporting herself, and really just showing how to be a leader, how to really just be that example and not worry about, all the ego judgments, opinions, all that stuff. It's gonna come, because that's kind of like how, on a collective scale, how energies work. Whenever people are leveling up, when their vibration is going up and they're expanding, there's a collective pullback. You ever notice, like, and a lot of us have already experienced at this point, a lot of you out there, where the families and the people who, I guess that, yeah, relationships, people who we're in relationships with, or just, anybody, friends, where as everyone's gone through their changes and shifts and leveling up, you start to see how those beings around them are starting to act. They start to shift, they start to change, like they start to get, a little trigger, they start to notice the difference in behavior even more. And that definitely is a test in its own. Something, again, we saw mom go through, where she had to face her family so many times. And eventually it came to the point where mom just had to cut cords, she had to, move on, break away. And, mom didn't have, a lot of support and at all, and what she had to take on, as God, as a mother, and all that. And so too, definitely being able to, discern and choose, the right thing out of service to humanity and love, that ultimately is a test of integrity and honor and respect to yourself, beyond anyone else's say so, and that's kind of like, you could say that's a contract between you and God. Where your integrity lies, where your honor and your self-respect lies, and what you are prepared to do, what you are willing to put on the line, beyond and above yourself, and do for a greater purpose, a greater meaning, something that's going to assist and move forward so many more people beyond yourself, versus just keeping it all to you, and that's truly where the fruits of life are hidden at. It's in the expansion and the giving and the sharing and the constant co-creating of love together, moving higher into higher experiences together. That's where the joy and true happiness comes from. And mom again has set up all this in the blueprint, the divine plan. This is where we are heading. But still, conscious awareness is so very important of practicing these things with ourselves and for each other. Supporting ourselves, supporting each other more, seeing where your blocks are, where you won't step up for yourself, where you're just kind of like, nope, I just can't do it. I'm not there yet. And that's cool. That's fine, to be at that point, but ultimately the goal is to transform and evolve that. Transforming so many triggers today. Thank you, Mom. Definitely, definitely moving into the main point of today is just, physical support, emotional support, mental support, definitely looking at where you are, in your life, what's going on, how fast you're going through the day, and learning how to really slow it down, observe these different aspects of yourself, and to support those areas more. Where can you exercise a little bit more focus, a little bit more time nurturing yourself, or exercising different practices? Physical support, are you exercising? Are you being outside? Are you spending moments, next to trees, on the ground, getting that energy? Physical support, what your body needs to keep releasing, transforming energies. Emotional support, are you writing? Are you journaling every day? Are you, paying attention to where your moods are and just where your processing is? Are you like really triggered, or are you just cool as bananas today or something? All that, are you going through that process too? And the mental processing, all that, making sure that you're not overriding yourself with so many thoughts, being in the mind. Are you centering yourself so what you're processing isn't just sit there overwhelming your brain? and sitting there and making sure that you're doing things that are promoting expansion. What are you focusing on through your mental health, your observation of that? Are you focusing a lot of times on negative things all day? Are you watching a bunch of negative things? Are you, just, really, that's where you're supposed to look at with your thoughts, and all of that. Those are just, simple examples, but that's what happens with, self-support. He's like, are you actively doing this for yourself? And if you're not, it means you're not following through with it. It means you're not supporting yourself. And that's where a lot of unhappiness, that's where a lot of, less joy comes from. And truly it is us doing it to ourselves because we aren't willing to take those steps and do that to actually co-create with mom and help create that, for ourselves. So supporting ourselves and, stepping forward and, embracing, a higher perspective for yourself, a higher, joy, everyone deserves it. And that's definitely something I feel we should share. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I'm gonna look at the comments, see how everyone's doing. We're coming up at yes. All right. I'm not sure if this is all the comments. Oh, it wasn't. Coolio. Cool like the other side of the pillow. Absolutely. Did you want Italy or Spain to win tonight? I don't know what you're referring to. I actually do not like sports at all. I dislike sports. Sports are really boring in a lot of ways to me. I don't see the point. I was always like a science guy, a science geek, whatever you want to call it. Self-love is the key to being able to love mom and others. Absolutely. And mom is definitely a massive trigger for the ego in a lot of ways too, And there's a lot of beings that found out that truth, I feel, through the years following us and just connecting with mom, that they actually didn't actually understand how to love someone, and that I know that for myself in a lot of ways, was a factor, in the beginning of mission when I came, how closed off I was, and just how a lot of people are in general in life, and if it ever came down to it, could you actually extend beyond yourself and care, for someone else in a lot of ways that you normally would never do for yourself. And it was a big mirror. It was a big mirror for all of us, especially on the team, through a lot of things on mission, while assisting mom. And we realized our own limitations, our own walls that we were, reaching, and, assisting God, and being there in all moments for her and whatever God needed. That became a massive training, a massive test and gift, a beautiful gift and blessing to learn how cut off we really are from each other and how unwilling we really are to extend a hand for someone else, and how much you really have to fight through in your ego at that point because you are so much in just denial, refusal, or just wanting to bypass things, and all those different things make you not available for someone. You don't hold space for someone. You're not there in prayer. You're not there in and that energy assisting someone move forward. It's more like you're sending rocket ships. You're sending nuclear bombs in on them. And that was a very big awareness for us on the mission, is realizing how much you can really assist someone and how much you can really hurt someone, even just unconsciously, just with the simplest, act of self-importance, out of right action, or choosing to put yourself before mom, or choosing to put yourself before other people that are in the space around you. And those kinds of actions, how that can domino effects and cause other manifestations of less joy, less happiness. And she did so many things to show us exactly what humanity has been doing this entire time on this planet, manifesting these very lower frequency experiences, and the fact that we actually don't have to take those on and experience that. So definitely, I feel, and for me myself, I feel this is like a big trigger because, like yesterday, we did there's a lot of things going on, and I got the blessing to go through the experience of kind of having a trigger, a trigger, deep trauma trigger just come up, and I've handled it pretty well. And there's a lot of things I was like, transforming and at war with inside and just going through the day. And that night, everything got to that point. Did trauma masterclass, and it was a hit. It was an awesome class, and when like for example, for that class, like I didn't have pages of notes, for that class. It literally was like I had like maybe 6 words or 6 different things, phrases. And that's really all I do. It just kind of helps me in the moment while I'm like, channeling mom, the higher self, or the angels, or whatever organically wants to come through. But I can just have different intention, different things to kind of keep me grounded and on target. And that's all I had. And so for that entire time, I was so happy with that masterclass. Everything went off, way better than I ever thought it was going to. I was so grateful, to mom, and the beings loved it. And then I go outside and I smoke a cigarette. I start grounding, and I'm talking to Mary, and I'm like, I'm so happy about it, and I'm like, and then immediately I just come to a crash landing. Everything, my whole joy, everything, the light, the hymns on high disappeared in a heartbeat. And I remembered I didn't record the class, and I freaking I was so pissed. I was so mad. I was so angry. And like I came in and like I double checked and I tried everything, and like it was gone. The whole class, it was gone. Everything, I didn't write anything down. It was all organic and it was beautiful. And then that was of course my trigger that I can't recreate that all over again. So it just made me so freaking mad. And I went out to the garage and had this crowbar, and I beat the living daylights out of this box. I don't know if the box knew what was coming, and I literally went ham on this thing. And it just felt so good just to not sit there and allow myself to implode like that, not let myself sit there with that energy, for long hours. And that was support. That was self-service right there. That was supporting myself and not making myself go through a miserable low frequency time the rest of the night. It was just like, no, let's just go get this out. Let's just go freaking break something, hit something and let it go. Express this energy that I feel, acknowledge it, and then let it go. And I did that, and I feel I downplayed it a little bit, and it was a lot of energy that came out. I thought that was good, but apparently it wasn't. And then I went late, and I just rolled around for hours the whole night and the rest of the morning. And like I remember, I was like envisioning for like 2 hours, like this like fallen over dead tree in the forest. And I was like, I'm gonna hit that tree when I get up. And I just like the whole morning is like a solid intention, just flowing through the day. And it was really funny because I was kind of like contradicting myself. I was like, well, maybe not. I tried to back out, and then I was like, just forget it, just do it, And so like I'm like sitting there with this big old pea coat, tall black guy walking down the street early in the morning time, with a crowbar in his hand, and it looked very interesting, I would say, to other observers. But yeah, I went and found that tree, and it was dead. I did not harm a live tree at all. I did not, never abuse a living, thing at all. And I did ask the angels and mom if I could do that to the tree, even though it was fallen over. But yeah, it felt incredibly liberating just to, focus, make a solid intention, and be a master about it, be mature about it. It's like, okay, obviously I'm feeling this. It's a lot of energy. It's rage. Okay, cool. And then, divert that energy through a different channel, and be high vibrational about it. Okay, get it out, as a tool, great. And I was in such bliss walking back to the house after that this morning. Like, it literally was almost like a high, just to be able to exert and express all that energy and get it out, and not sit with that all day, not sit there and have to fight off other triggers, not already be at my limit, and then, trigger off something else. It's like that. Why would you do that to yourself? Is that supporting yourself truly? Is that really, taking care of yourself? Or are you just really making your life more shitty? And those are a lot of things I've had to catch myself, where I've created my own sabotage, where I will let one thing build and it will be a volcano, and it will launch into something else. It'll be a domino into this, into that, into this. It'll never stop. The energy just keeps going off. It's like a freaking firework party, and I'm grateful, for Mom and all the tests and all the mastery and just, getting me in alignment with all that, and I'm grateful for all the moments, spent with Mom, while she was here, and just the grand lessons I learned as a human being, learning from God in person. Those are by far, this whole experience is the grandest moments of my entire life. I would never do anything ever to change any of it. If I had to do it all over again to meet her, I would do that in a heartbeat. If it meant finding Mom, if it meant meeting her, I would do all of it all over again just to see her again, and we will, very soon, but definitely if it was a choice of a lifetime and that was the experience, to meet Mom in the physical, you bet your ass I'd be down here in a heartbeat, and I'd be incarnating, running to go find Mom somewhere, wherever she was. And all of us are like that. All of us, and it's a funny memory, that I have, when Mom was, it was at Mission House, and Mom played the music loud all the time. And it's never like, Mom had planned that at this certain time of the day I'm going to play music, and it's going to be a music party in my room, right? So everyone's just like in right action, everyone's spread out through, inside the house, outside in the yard and everything like that, people with the cars, people are on mission, stuff like that, and it's just like out of nowhere you hear the speaker boom, and Mom's blasting a song, and you already know it's music party time. And you see like all of like the children, everybody's like just running from wherever, and like they run to scatter. You get back into the room with Mom, and they're getting water. They're like getting prepared because they're planning to stay in their room with Mom. They want to be in joy. They want to be a part of the party. They want to be a part of that energy. And it was always such a magical time, with Mom. And I will always be grateful to have those strong family members with members. Yes, strongly. We are strong family members, but strong family memories, with Mom, how she really just made everything more special. She made everything more magical just by being loved, just by being herself, by being the example, by being in honor and integrity, and just doing the right thing in alignment with divine plan, in service to humanity. It was never about her. And everything she did, of course, it was always to get us to be the best. So really she was the prime example in that, through and through, no matter what, every single time, 24/7. And I'm grateful to you, Mom, for everything. And yeah, no matter how long it's going to be, before Mom comes back on her beautiful starship with Rob and Jermaine, she has that planned out. But as for us and our experience in carrying forward as her children, her atoms, there's a lot of things Mom had to go for. And one of those, because we have to be able to see these things in ourselves. We have to be able to accept them and to be able to embody them. What was it all for? She's not going to come back here to suffer for us anymore. That is over. That is done. God did that contract. She completed that mission, and then many over that. So when she comes back, it's not going to be like for her to do all that again. She's not going to go through that process. So that, again, is our responsibility. That's our torch to carry forward and learn how to carry our own weight. Then progress and expand to learn how to carry others, how to share and hold space for each other. So it really, truly is about everyone getting there. We're coming out of survival mode. We're coming out of the me, versus you, the survival of the fittest, wanting just to make it grand for myself because if everyone else everything goes to shit, well, at least I'm gonna have grand moments now. It's like, why? Why would you even plan on it to all end, fall apart, or go to shit, or just get worse? For what? I don't want to live in that reality. You can go stand over there. I'll be over here, because I'm not gonna live in that. I don't choose that. It's not my intention. Highest timeline always, and as always, Mom shared. You know, no matter what's going on right now on this planet, in this current timeline, you know, present moment with the world, you know, always reheart yourself. There's always a higher timeline than the dysfunction you're currently seeing right in front of you. So don't buy what's right in front of you. Don't buy everything you're seeing. You know, there is a higher vibration, a higher perspective, a higher truth, and a higher timeline that we are all moving towards. So if you can trust the process, trust in the transition that we are all moving through on a collective scale together, then it will be a lot easier and less harsh on everyone together, combined, and for ourselves individually. And we can practice and focus on the more subtle things like self-acceptance, follow through, supports, self-nurturing, self-trust, self-compassion for what you have to still go through as a process, no matter how much you're aware of. But do you have compassion for yourself to be able to do that too? Right? So that's truly the test. So I feel we're going to go ahead and end right here. We love you all. Thank you all for joining for live stream today. We're still tweaking around, doing a couple of different changes to seeing kind of what works. But we're still grateful for all of you, in attendance and still pushing, still putting this into practice, putting this into motion. Again, support yourselves, because God's not going to do it all for us. She completed all the work, and that's enough. That's more than enough. There are individual choices we have to make for ourselves and be able to change things. And then we'll be able to see that we have been truly empowered, but we can't actually see that unless we apply it. We have to do the follow through. We have to support ourselves in order to experience that for ourselves. That's how it works. So there's only so much that God can sit around and talk to you all day about. The real transformation, like Mom said in many moments, is not talking, it is applying it. It's action. Are you doing this? Can you do this? Can you push yourself to do this? And that's really what counts. That's what it comes down to. Okay. So I love you all. Take care. I don't know. There was going to be an addition, but I guess not anymore. But yeah, thank you all for joining. I love you all, and we will see you all tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. All right.